guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to go over this great email that was sent from a subscriber. It's from a guy, he's 50 years old. He's been married for like 20 some years, has 2 sons in high school. They're into sports and they do well in school and all that. And he shares his story about how over the last year he's made one amazing comeback in his life. It's a great comeback story. Not only in his personal life, but also with his marriage to his wife. You're going to see how initially when the story starts, he had certainly an above average marriage in terms of the dynamics with he and his wife. However, he gets injured at work and he has to be in a wheelchair for a while, and that's when things go to hell in a handbasket with the relationship with his wife and her starting to act like a real a-hole and all that. And how eventually you're going to see how it gets to the point that he really has to put her in her place. Check her, put her in her place. In between that and the self-improvement and being a leader, embracing his true masculine side that has been lying dormant for a while, it is like that, the change with her towards him. And now, fast forward a year, things are great. It's like a renaissance period, and he's really happy because this is a family guy. And believe me, as I go through this story, there's going to be parts you guys are going to be like, just get the hell out of here, dude, kick her to the curb. And I don't blame you. And I'm thinking the same thing. But his family is very important to him, and he wanted to make it work. And let me tell you, he's doing a very good job. So for you, this story is certainly one that you relationship guys will appreciate. You guys that are married, or maybe you guys that aren't married want to do it one day, and I caution you, but it is what it is. And of course, those of you that like a good comeback story to show you that a guy can definitely be down for a while, but one day say no more, make a change, and the amazing effect when a man decides to make a change and follow through, and the positive effect it can have on multiple aspects of his life. Real good one. But it's long, as you can see, but it's worth your time. This will be perfect if you like to listen to me when you're driving to work or driving home. So it starts off, he says, hey SSM. I've been a follower of your channel since the pandemic started, and I really enjoy your content. Like most guys our age, I had to learn a lot of lessons about women the hard way. My dad was a horrible role model, and my mom raised me to be a perfect gentleman. Translation, doormat, pushover. Yeah, get in line. A lot of guys are like that. It wasn't until I started consuming RP content many years ago that I realized exactly how much of a simp I was growing up to be. I'm better off now, and I use the knowledge I've gained from you and other RP content creators in my current relationship. I never thought I'd be sharing a story about myself, but considering what I went through last year and where I am today, I thought it might be something you could use on your channel. I'll let you be the judge. Well, bro, I'm glad you sent it in. I know it was a long letter to write, and it's a really good one. And if I had $1 for every time somebody said, I never thought I'd be the one sending this story in, I could probably retire now. First, my background. I'm a 50-year-old male, and I have known my wife, a 47-year-old female, for about 28 years, and married coming up on 20 years in April. We have 2 boys that are in high school. I met my wife in college. She had many traits that RP content creators say are things to look for in a quality woman. She had average looks, but was very athletic. She was a scholarship athlete in volleyball, so she was always in good shape. She had a good relationship with her parents, especially her dad, and was debt-free, no tattoos, no piercings, and a virgin. And he says, yes, I'm positive that was true. Yeah, we're all wondering about that. Not only was she a virgin, she had never had a boyfriend before me. When I asked her why, that was because she said that she was always busy doing sports. She did 3 since elementary school and never had time for one. Also, she was always self-conscious about her height, as she's 6 feet tall. I'm 6'2" and weighed 175 back then, and her height never bothered me. In fact, I found it attractive. Yeah, tall girls are kind of like in the same situation as really short dudes. Because let's be honest here, we like a girl that's shorter than us, by and large, I'm 5'10", and I wouldn't even waste my time with a chick any taller than 5'8". That's just me. I like short girls. That's my thing. Shorter. My wife and I get along great. She's a great mother to our boys, and we are both on the same page as how do we raise them, as well as our finances, careers, and we've always had great communication between us. Of course, there are a few not so great things. She has a couple of masculine traits I could do without that I try to keep in check. Well, my friend, as you embrace your masculine side is. I know you are at the end of this story. I'm willing to bet you those masculine traits she has are going to vanish in time. After giving birth to 2 kids, she didn't lose much of the baby weight, and like most marriages, the bedroom fun is definitely lacking. Maybe once every 6 weeks. More on all this later on. Well, for you, maybe every 6 weeks, you're actually above average, particularly for someone that's been married 20 years and 2 teenage kids. There are plenty out there. It's like, try like once every 6 months or once every year. Fast forward to January 2022, and I'm ashamed to say my weight was 210 pounds at the time. I suffered a serious injury at work. I had herniated 2 discs in my lower back, which forced me to miss work for almost 3 months. Ouch, that sucks, bro. The first month was brutal as I was bedridden and was unable to walk without the use of a walker, but mostly I had to use a wheelchair. I went from being a normal man to crippled in the blink of an eye. I could do absolutely nothing on my own. I couldn't work, couldn't do any of the things I normally did around the house, couldn't attend any of my kids' sporting events. My wife and boys had to help me with everything, like getting in and out of the shower, getting dressed, and even help me out of the wheelchair so I could sit down on the toilet to go to the bathroom. Yeah, that sucks. Talk about emasculating and humiliating. But you were injured. What could you do? Now listen to this, guys, about how things go with his wife's perception of him and treatment of him when he obviously can't take care of himself because he's injured. Listen to this. And this is going to go into what I tell you all the time about how women loathe weakness, whether it's a guy's fault or not. Either if he's acting like a whiny crybaby, crying all the time, pouring out his emotions, and you get the point, or physically injured or weak, and that's not his fault. They want their guy strong all the freaking time, and it's unbelievably unfair. But it is what it fucking is, and it's just, you're going to see this in a second. Let me tell you, SSM, there's nothing more emasculating than that. When I saw my doctor, he said that there was a 50-50 chance that I would need surgery. We would need to wait and see, as these type of injuries can clear up on their own, but would take probably 2 months and several months of physical therapy after that. Needless to say, I was pretty stressed with the reality of my injury. Will I completely recover? Will I be able to go back to work and provide for my family? Then I had to deal with the workers' comp, which pretty much doubled my stress level. I can only imagine. The amount of paperwork to fill out and phone calls to try to get benefits put in place so I'd have money coming in was insane. Then there was the additional stress from my wife that I had to deal with. She has always treated me well and made me happy. While I was off work, her attitude started to change. She works a full-time job, and when she came home, always mentioned how she had to pick up the slack around the house. Well, sweetheart, I'm in a fucking wheelchair here against my will, and believe me, I would be doing everything I could but I can't get out of this goddamn wheelchair. So you're going to have to pick up the pace, because I would certainly bust my butt to help you if the situation was reversed. But of course, has to complain, piss him off, and I get she's working full time, got the teenage boys, and doing extra stuff. Yeah, that's trying, but that's marriage. That's in sickness and in health. Death do us part. But I'm speaking logic, and she's coming from the place of emotion. And watch this. To be fair, I know the situation did cause her stress, but our boys picked up the vast majority of the slack, so there was very little extra put on her. Well, good for your sons. You raised them right. I'm not the kind of person who likes to sit around the house and do nothing and try to help where I could, like wheeling over to the dishwasher to empty it, folding laundry, and helping put groceries away. However, my efforts did not seem to be appreciated. She started making comments on almost a daily basis about my situation. And that, my friend, is when you check her. I don't care if you're rolling around in a wheelchair or not. Professor Xavier was a badass in his wheelchair. Lieutenant Dan was a badass in his wheelchair, so can you. And I know these are movies, but you get my joke. She would say things like, you need to hurry up and get better so you can get back to work. Or, you better be healed by summer, as I don't want our summer vacation ruined due to this. How about this? Suck on this, honey. If you were in that wheelchair, do you think I'd be saying these things to you? Oh, no. What the hell? What'd I tell you about the weakness thing, right, guys? There were many more, but you get the point. What was worse is she would say this in front of our boys, and I could tell by the looks on their faces that they couldn't believe what their mother was saying. That takes the insult to a whole new level, saying it in front of your boys, your very impressionable teenage high school boys. It's bad enough she says it to you, but in front of them, you should have checked her right then and there. But I get you're very worn down in a bad place, but you can't let this shit slide. It was like the gut punch every time she made one of those comments. You've always said that women will lose respect for you if you lose your job or you can't provide, but I honestly thought my wife was not like that. He says, I know, smack. They're all like that. But it isn't just that you can't provide the moment, it's that you are, and not to your fault, in a weak position in the wheelchair and you can't take care of yourself. It's not your fault. And probably logically she understands it, but emotionally, because women want their guy to be strong and then rock all the time. You can literally have your leg blown off and they still want you to just get up and walk it off. I kid you not. And be strong all the freaking time. It's ridiculous. But still, that's what they want, And this is why the narrative about a guy can be soft and sensitive and cry and she can be the strong one in the relationship. Bullshit. And the more feminine a woman it is, the more she's going to be repelled by a weaker guy that quickly. And anybody that tells you that's a bunch of crap, okay, fine. Go do what they show you on TV and movies and see how quick your woman is turned off. It is what it is. But you still check them on their bullshit. The accumulation of all this stress was overwhelming and it broke me. I was depressed and found myself choking back my tears on a daily basis. This was the lowest point I've ever been in my life. Well, we all reach low points, guys, and we all reach them. Sometimes we're at the end of our rope. We can only hold on and find that strength that's within us to persevere and make us stronger. And this guy does. After the first month, I slowly started to feel better. I was able to walk around without any help for a few minutes at a time and was able to do more each passing day. There you go. Every day, a little bit better. And that'll motivate you to keep trying every day. I started physical therapy, and to make a long story short, I was able to recover without surgery and went back to work in mid-April, and life started to get back to normal. Awesome. Good for you. I was feeling a little happier, but overall was still depressed about what had happened. I can imagine. It was May 1st when everything changed for me. I decided to weigh myself for the first time since the injury, and when I stepped on the scale, I was not happy with what I saw. I gained 10 pounds, so now I was 220 pounds. Well, at 6'2", 220, you're not like this obese beast. But I get that you're overweight and you don't like what you see. Now, watch this, guys. He can either be upset about it and do nothing, or he can say, F this, I'm going to take some action and transform myself, and watch what he does. Needless to say, I was pretty upset. I stood there in the bathroom for several minutes just staring at myself in the mirror with my shirt off and was disgusted with what I saw. I don't know how to describe what happened next, but I just snapped out of my funk. Whatever amount of depression and sadness had disappeared, and I was replaced with anger. I was angry that I let myself get this way. I remember standing there with fists clenched, wanting to throw something at the mirror. It was then that I decided that I had enough and I was going to make some changes. Good for you, man. I focused on eating a healthier diet, and my physical therapist advised me on an exercise program which basically consisted of lifting light weights and walking. By the end of July, all the work I had put in had paid off. I was working out 3 to 4 times a week and walking 3 to 4 miles almost every day. I had lost 30 pounds, and my injury is now a distant memory, and I was looking and feeling a whole lot better. Bravo! 30 pounds in 3 months. See, guys, what happens when you say, enough of this bullshit, I'm making a goddamn change, and I don't care what I have to do it. You have to reach that point that you're just so fed up with whatever it is that's, you're not happy with, that you're going to do it. And a lot of people have to get to that point. And by the way, he's 50 years old. It's a lot harder to make physical changes the older you get, as many of you guys are well aware. Most guys wouldn't do that, man. Most guys are buying this body positivity crap and say, I'm beautiful the way I am. Well, you're not happy, so do something about it. In August, our family went out of town for a short getaway. This was the vacation that my wife referred to. It was a Sunday night, and we were all in the hotel room. We were watching TV, and our boys were texting with some friends. I was about to go get up and go take a shower and get ready for bed when one of my boys said, my friends just told me the high temperature on Tuesday where he lives is going to be 102 degrees. Curious, I pulled up my phone and opened my weather app to see the forecast for that city. When I saw the triple digits high for the week, I said, wow, listen to the forecast for said city this week. My wife immediately said, no one wants to hear that. I said, no, just listen to this forecast for the week. She again goes, no, nobody cares about that. No one wants to hear it. I was pissed. She has a habit of cutting me off when I talk or just trying to shut me down altogether, and I can't stand it. How many guys watching this either have a wife right now that pulls that shit or did in the past? And I'm sure it pisses you off. And that is when you need to lay down the law. I've had a girlfriend in the past that used to pull that crap with me. And earlier in my life, I would let some of that go. Then I got to the point that I would immediately check her when she pulled that shit. And it was amazing, the stunned look in her face. Partially because I checked her, and the other part, she actually realized, whoa, I'm being an asshole here. And immediately apologized, and that became less and less to the point it never happened again. You can't let that shit go, guys. Her behaving this way is because there's lots of things going on, but obviously deals with respect, and obviously him having a past and not checking her, but there's some other things going on, which you'll see. I snapped at her and said, hey, knock it off. Why do you do shit like this? I then got up, left the room, and went to the bathroom to the shower. Good for you. It's about time, but good for you. I took my time in the shower to try and cool off. When I was done and came out of the bathroom, my wife came up to me and said, I'm sorry. I walked right past her, hugged my boys, and told them a good night, and went to bed. Not one word to my wife. Good. Let her worry about that. Let her think about how she was acting a bit. Don't give her that satisfaction of certainty to make her feel better when, I'm sorry. No. Now watch this. Remember, I say women hate uncertainty. The next morning, my wife woke me up at 6 o'clock in the morning wanting to talk. You're on vacation and she's waking up at 6 o'clock in the freaking morning. If she wants to smooth things over with you, she has very bad timing here. We had a lot of activities planned for the day, so my wife wanted to go over our itinerary. I already knew our itinerary, but I humored her as I knew she was really feeling me out before she really brought up what was really bothering her. After about 5 minutes, she apologized for the night before. I told her that reading that forecast would have taken 5 seconds at most. Was it worth it? She apologized again and said she doesn't know why she did that. We talked for a few minutes, as I don't remember exactly what it was said. It was the last thing she said that caught my attention. She said she did that because she was jealous of me. That caught me off guard because I asked her why. She started to rub my stomach and said, because you're looking really good and I am not. I have to admit, it was great to hear her say that. She had mentioned a couple times in the past that she could tell I had lost the weight, but this was the first time she said I was looking really good. I told her if she's not happy with how she looked, then let's do something about it. Come with me to the gym. There you go. Take action. That's what you got to do if you don't like something in your life, guys. The problem is, and you're going to see this in a minute, most people in this world don't like things about their lives, but they most certainly aren't willing to take any action to fix the problem. Only a small percentage of people really make things happen for themselves or make that change. Meanwhile, the rest just complain about things and come up with every excuse under the sun why they can't make that change. And that is an example of the world we're in. So while you have a small percentage of people in this world that have great success, and a lot of people that don't, the people that don't are envious as hell and hate on them. Meanwhile, they're not willing to get off their ass, make things happen for themselves, work smart, take calculated risks, that type of thing. And yet they want to hate on the people that are successful. And right here, and watch this. This is a very good human nature study here. So he tells her that she can come with him to the gym. She said she didn't have time for that, to which I replied, make time for it. I do. I then asked her to come on walks with me. Her first excuse was that it's been so hot lately, to which I replied, a hard sweat is good for you. Just shower afterwards. Then she tried to blame shift and said, well, you stopped asking me. To which I replied, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Every time I asked you, you said no. She had no response to that, and we ended up talking for a while longer. Right there. He's giving her options. She's finding all these excuses why she can't do that. And this is why. And then as an example, why a lot of people are in They have lies that they're not happy with. They're not willing to do anything about it, and it's usually just a bitch and complain and be resentful and jealous of those that have what they don't have but could have if they make the fucking effort. I was a bit later in the conversation when I brought up our SEX life, or lack thereof. To be fair, it can be a challenge for the wife and I to be intimate with 2 teenage boys in the house. I can imagine, dude. With all their extracurricular activities, we stay quite busy. The best time for us to have any sort of fun is first thing in the morning when we get up. However, when I try to initiate with her, most of the time she says she'll be late for work or some other excuse and I get rejected. This sounds like a stereotypical marriage. I told her this needed to stop and she agreed and said that she would do better. Now, it just so happens that the following week our boys would be attending a camp for a couple of days and we'd have a lot more time to ourselves and this would be a great time to catch up on some fun. She agreed, and then it was time to get our kids up and start our day. So, let's fast forward to the time the kids are at camp. Is she going to be frisky? Now, if you think I was excited about all the SEX I was going to get, think again. This isn't the first time I had this conversation with my wife, so I knew how this was going to play out. The first day she would be completely willing and able. Then for the next several days, when I tried to initiate, she would hit me with the excuses, and to no surprise, that's exactly what happened. Well, I'm not surprised. Now, guys, he's done a great job so far. He's lost the weight, made some changes, he's called her on her shit. Things are improving. But now you're going to see how he uses female nature against her. He, through his learning of the things from this channel and other channels, goes on an even bigger quest of self-improvement and does the one thing that makes women crazy. He gets women to be interested in him, and she knows it. And wait till you see the change that she has towards him when he starts getting a lot of attention from other women, seeing that he's a catch and he could replace her like that. Says here, like that, I wasn't surprised, but yeah, I was still frustrated. I sat there thinking for a while about the situation, and since talking to her about it again would be a waste of time, I was going to take a different approach to the matter, a more RP approach. Well, another RP approach would be pretty much either we're going to be a romantic couple, or guess what, I'm going to find somebody else. But instead of saying that, he does it through his actions. Now watch this. I wanted my wife to see that other women found me attractive. My hope was that if she could see that other women were into me, or even I could have options, it would get her to step up her game as a wife. I want to make it clear that I was not looking to cheat on my wife or have an affair. I love my wife and would never do anything like that to her or our children. I like how you said not just her, but also your children. Good for you. So I kept on watching my diet and going to the gym. Since my son's sporting activities were in the off season, I took them to the gym with me and we all worked out together. Dude, that's sweet. That's some great bonding time with the boys. Great father-son bonding time, by the way. I then colored my hair. At my age, I still have a full, thick head of hair. When I was young, it was always black, but as I got older, I developed a nice salt and pepper look. However, now there is a lot more salt than there is pepper. I colored it back to where there was more pepper than salt. All of my coworkers said it made me look at least 15 years younger. I then had to get new clothes, as all my old clothes were too big. I watched a few YouTube videos on how to dress to impress, and every week I went out and purchased a new outfit or two. After 6 weeks, I had a whole new wardrobe. I then made it a point that whenever I was out and saw a woman I thought was attractive, I would try to approach her and say hello. Most of the time it was just a smile and a hello back, how are you? Sometimes it developed into a short conversation, sometimes it didn't. I did this no matter if I was out by myself, with my kids, or with my wife. Yeah, you're just being a friendly guy out there who's feeling good. Like, you're not flirting, you're not being disrespectful, but just the fact that you're chit-chatting and comfortable and confident, and women are responding to you, it's not going to take long for your wife to notice this. And women love a guy that other women are hot for, the pre-selection thing. But they just don't want them taking their guy. And when that happens, they then step up their game, if you will, to make sure you don't go after some other woman, or some other woman doesn't take you away. This is exactly what he's doing. Over the next few months, I noticed a change in my wife's behavior. Imagine that. My wife does the vast majority of cooking and always cook dinner around the same time. If I was working late, she would just keep a plate for me in the refrigerator to heat up when I got home. Now, if I'd be working late, she would try to time her cooking so dinner would be ready when I got home. She started giving me a lot more affection than usual. She always gave me hugs and kisses, but started doing it a lot more often, as well as being more attentive to my needs. This is how it should be. Really. And you're good to her, and you provide, you make her feel safe, and you embrace your masculine self. Notice, guys, here how he's been improving himself, and he's feeling confident and making it clear other women like him. Look at the magical change in him. And not to mention he checked her and called her on her bullshit and everything. Men have to be leaders and not take bullshit from anybody. But he's still good to her, right? Believe me, he could have, after the way she was treating him after the wheelchair incident, he could have handled a whole different way and nobody would blame him. But he does love her and he loves his kids and he wants to try to make it work. Fair enough. It says there, she started holding my hand everywhere we went. I'm guessing she was staking her claim on me, as she could tell, as well as I, that other women were checking me out. And yes, the bedroom fun definitely picked up. We were hooking up at least once a week, and whenever I tried to initiate with her, she never rejected it. So it went from 6 weeks at best to at least once a week, and she never rejects his initiation. There were a couple of times she actually initiated, which is something she never does. And speaking of things she never does, during one of our sessions, out of the blue and unprovoked, she decided to go down south of the border. First time she's probably done it in like 7 years. 7 years? Good Lord, dude. I've forgotten how good those felt. My plan had worked. Everyone in the family was happy. I got the promotion and a really nice bonus at work, and things are really looking up. Bravo. Good for you. Guys, what's the pattern here? Self-improvement. Standing up for yourself. Leading. Acting like a fucking man. And just as magical, what happens? And by the way, I want to point something out, brother. Your sons notice this too. You are acting in a way that your sons can mimic your behavior. And this is great. It was just after Christmas when everything came to where we are now. I had to work late one night, so when I got home, we all sat down and had dinner. After dinner, I got changed. I told my wife I was going out walking and went outside. She followed me outside and asked if I had to go right now, as I had just gotten home and it was dark out. I told her yes, and that I only do 2 miles, but she was insistent for me not to go. Well, a man on his purpose is going to go regardless she wants to, because that's your purpose, to keep yourself in shape. In hindsight, I should have just gone, but after some back and forth, I didn't go and went back inside. I was pissed though. I just started doing some household chores and ignored her. After about 30 minutes, she said to me, I would have rather you just gone for a walk if you're going to act like this. I walked away and continued to ignore her. Remember, women hate it when guys aren't going to engage with them. After about 10 minutes, I grabbed the checkbook and sat down to pay some bills. As I was writing, I glanced up and saw my wife in the next room. She had a sad puppy dog look in her face, so I knew what was coming. Oh, for goodness sake. Instead of just coming to you and saying she's upset about something, it's this nonsense. She started crying and walked into our bedroom. I just chuckled and continued what I was doing. After 5 minutes, she came out of our bedroom, not crying, and wanted to talk. I finished what I was doing and went to the bedroom. Bedroom with her. She started crying again. And to make a long story short, I let her talk, and she basically said how Christmas was stressful with her family visiting. And she's trying to be a good wife and just wanted to spend time with me. Now, I never talked with her about the way she treated me when I was injured and felt now was the perfect time to do it. I can't believe this hasn't come up yet, but better late than never, because that was something very important, that whole shit that went down. When she finished talking, I said, "You broke our marriage vows." She instantly stopped crying and looked at me in shock, asking what I was talking about. How does she not know what you're talking about? Like she forgets how she was acting when you were in the wheelchair. I reminded her how she said that she loved me in sickness and in health, and then proceeded to remind her of her treatment of me while I was injured. How you basically seemed to resent me or even hate me as I sat there in my wheelchair, unable to do much of anything. How every time you made a comment telling me that I need to hurry up and get better was basically a gut punch, and if she thought our boys didn't notice, she was wrong. that she should have seen the looks on their faces when you made a few of your comments, and what lessons did she think she taught them? She started crying again. I'm so sorry, saying I was right and how sorry she was. I asked her what was going to happen in the future if I get hurt again or in a car accident, if I can't recover from my injuries. Was she going to resent me so much that she'd divorce me? I then told her that when our boys are sick or when they have a surgery, you didn't say anything negative to them or treat them badly. Well, that's because they're her boys, they're her cubs, and she's a mama bear and is going to protect them. But when it's her man, she wants her man strong all the freaking time, regardless if it's his fault or not. It's bullshit, but I'm just telling you guys it is what it is. But it doesn't mean you have to allow it if she's acting like an a-hole. The same goes for your mom and dad and your younger brother. But yet, with me, I want to know why. Now, I already knew the answer to the question, but I wanted to put her on the spot and see what she'd say. She kept on crying. She's not going to say the real reason why. In fact, it's a possibility she doesn't even know. Really. Because I say most women don't understand why they react in certain ways and things like that. They don't know what they emotionally respond to, that shit. She kept crying and said she didn't know why and I didn't deserve that and how sorry she was and promised to do better. We ended up talking for about another hour as I won't go into details of it, but we had a good talk and we both came out feeling a lot better about everything. The whole being in the wheelchair for those months and everything you went through, what came from that? Actually, in a way, you could look back and say that in a way, it was the best thing that ever happened on multiple fronts. Fast forward to today, and things are going very well. I've kept the weight off and even lost another 3 pounds. I'm happy with my weight and not looking to lose more. As I look back on what happened last year, part of me is almost glad I got injured, as who knows where I'd be today. However, physically, I am not the same as I was before I got hurt, and the doctor said I would have a great chance of this happening again in the future. I still go to the gym when I can and go on my walks. My wife has now started going to the gym with me, as well as joining me for walks, which I really have enjoyed. Good. Good for her. Good for you for lighting a fire under her butt, because she obviously realizes, oh shit, my husband's looking amazing and all these women are noticing him. I better get my butt in shape and look my best I can be too, because I want him to stay attracted to me. I guarantee that was part of it. Like I said earlier, she's always been good to me, but I have to admit she's never treated me as good as she does now, because she knows she has competition. It's a combination knowing she has competition, and you could replace her if you wanted to, but also your self-improvement combined with you taking the charge and being a leader and a good role model for your boys, as well as checking her on her bullshit and confronting her. You put these all together, and this is exactly why she's treating you better, more affectionate, more loving, more feminine. You said in the beginning she was more masculine than you like. I'm sure she's more feminine now because of this. This is great. Now, it's been very difficult to get to the gym lately, as we do a lot of our, as often as we like, due to our boys' sports schedules. Both play high school basketball and baseball this year, and one plays varsity and the other JV, so we are extremely busy. I mentioned at the beginning that my dad was a horrible role model, and have vowed not to be like that with my boys. I'm showing them some videos of the channels I subscribe to, including yours. Well, don't let them watch this video about your wife going down south. They do not need to hear that. They've enjoyed them, and I tried to empathize with them about being a stronger, masculine leader. Both boys know that their schoolwork and athletics come first before any girlfriend. Good. Make that clear. I do talk to them about how to vet for red flags, as I know they will be a target. They are 6'4" and 6'5" and have very athletic bodies. Holy crap, you got a couple Vikings for sons. They have no problems getting attention from girls. So that's my story. With our 20-year anniversary coming up next month, I'm hopeful that will defy the U.S. marriage statistics and make it. Time will tell. Anyway, SSM, thank you for all that you do, and I wish you the best 2023. Have a great day, and God bless. Bro, that was awesome. That was a great comeback story. I'm so happy for you, and things are so much better on all areas of your life. But real quick, while I'm thinking about it with the workouts, I know you said you're busy seeing your boys play their sports, and as a good parent would be. So on the days you can't make it to the gym because you're working and the schedules, the boys and all that, just 10 to 15 minutes, which you can do. If you're going like, you can go to the gym once a week, 10 to 15 minutes, just do a superset. Back-to-back exercises of squats with your own body weight, 20 squats, hit the ground, 20 push-ups, 20 crunches. Rest for 45 seconds to a minute, do it again. 20 squats, 20 push-ups, 20 crunches, 3 sets, you're good. Because some workout is better than no workout. And have your wife do the same thing. Or if you want to invest a little money in a small dumbbell set, because since your wife's going to work out too, start with dumbbells at around 10 pounds all the way up to 25, 30-pound dumbbells, some resistance bands, and that way you can do some high repetition curls, shoulder presses. You can do some squats holding the dumbbells here like a goblet squat, something, And that way, because obviously you can't make the gym, but you can make 15 minutes to do something a couple days a week, and then when the boys' sports schedules slow down a little bit, then you go back to hitting the gym. Just a little tip there. Something's better than nothing. But anyhow, bro, great story. Keep doing what you're doing. Don't forget the lessons you've learned here. Keep being the good, strong, masculine role model to your boys and wife. Taking charge. If your wife ever slips up, starts acting bitchy, you check her on it. Always, because they respect strength, not weakness. Keep yourself in shape. And even though things are good with your wife, still go out and be sociable with everybody. It's good to let her know she's got competition. It is what it is. Some people may think it's manipulative or cruel or mean, but look what it's done. It is what it is, guys. So this is a very good one. And so I thought it would be a good one for your relationship, guys, to hear this, as well as any of you guys like a good comeback story. And for you guys that aren't interested in marriage, this is just going to reinforce why you don't do it. So there's some value to this for everybody that watches the channel. I really enjoyed this. All right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below what you think about this. And if you got a good story like to share, by all means, email it to me, strongsuccessfulmale@gmail.com. Just give me some time to get to it, and I definitely will when I get the chance. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.